final trials of your Supreme Court of Justice.
Oh, yeah! Let's go, Joaquin!
As you can see, we have prepared the setup of our court. Our attorneys are ready for their arguments, and in a second, the justices are going to come in. What I'm trying to say is that by all accounts, we treat this as if we were in an actual court, and we want to invite you to treat it as such. And so, as a collective, I want to ask all of us to do the following. I want us to take a moment to put our phones on Do Not Disturb right now. The Supreme Court asks for many minutes of silence and concentration, and we need to respect that decorum order. The phones on Do Not Disturb. After they're on Not Disturb, as you know, you got your backpacks or your bags, let's put our phones on those bags as of now. I know that it's more of a temptation to use it if it's on your hand or like in between your legs on the seat, and then it can fall, and everyone, you know how everyone feels when your phone falls? We don't want to distract or disrespect the top attorney team or your justices. So please keep your phone either already in your pocket or in your bag. And finally, anyone wearing earbuds, I'm going to ask you kindly to remove them. I believe that you will enjoy what you're going to hear. And as such, let's remove any interference with that. The point of having everyone watching this trial is that most of you were involved in the legislation, in the deliberation of proposals in committees, in the amendments, in the motions, in the first, second, third reading. Which means that a lot of you probably do not really have an idea of what happens in the Supreme Court. So we want to offer you this opportunity to see what has been happening in the Supreme Court all this time. So we have gathered the top attorneys and all of your 9 illustrious justices to do that. With that being said, to give you some context in an introduction and a kickoff to this Supreme Court trial, please help me welcome back to the stage Supreme Court Director Margaret Carrasco Trujillo.
Let's go, Michael!
Good evening and welcome. It has been such a privilege to not only come back to this program as a senior counselor, but to direct and lead students who are in the same place I was in just a few years ago. This year, I've had the pleasure of working with an incredible team, including America Navarro, the Director of the Attorneys, Director of Supreme Court Justices, and our Supreme Court bailiffs, Bianco Valdez, Alondra Navarro, and Adriana Ortiz Villarreal. So, as you all may know, there were 9 honorable justices and 12 attorneys representing a mix of parties. In a short time since you chose your attorneys on Tuesday, they have more than proven their commitment to serving not only you, but each other. And they did so by serving one another well and with respect. We are all very proud of them, and let's give them a huge round of applause. Together, the vision for the judicial branch of the 2026 Texas Lorenzo de Zavala Youth Legislative Session was to produce the most scrutinized community equity building proposals of this session. Thus, these proposals are actionable, self-sufficient, and actualized reflections of how CEB brings our ideas to practice. For this to happen, each attorney team in justice was required to have a very firm understanding of and belief in their tenets of community equity building as a premier standard for how we want to exist in our own futures. After each trial, attorneys were required to reflect upon the arguments of each trial and undergo a revision process for the proposals by editing and adding to meet the highest standards of CEB based on the feedback of each tribe. We are very proud of our work as a body. We have all worked as a community, respectfully using our knowledge, skills, and influence of our elected positions to test the core of CEB against our own ideals. This kind of inquiry is not easy, but question-based reasoning proved its value from trial to trial, forging a new way of looking at imaginative ideas that could one day transform the ways in which we exist in the world. Thank you for entrusting us with this challenging task this week. With that being said, we hope that you enjoy the 2026 Texas Lorenzo de Zavala final trial. The court chambers will be sealed from this point on. The proposals to be examined in the highest court of the LDZ are proposal, the Virginia Latino Business and Legacy Act, presented by Rodrigo Rosas and Joaquin Gil. The Community Connection Initiative, presented by Mia Garcia and Mia Escamilla. It is my great honor to announce the beginning of the final trial of the 2026 Texas Lorenzo de Zavala Youth Legislative Session. Thank you.
We love you, Joaquin.
All rise. The Honorable Justice Rito Sosela Treviño. The Honorable Justice José Mario Mirón. Sara Flores. The Honorable Justice Miguel Garcia. Today, we will be hearing two potential projects for the benefit of Texas. We will begin with Attorney Team A. Lead counsel, 4 minutes to present his proposal.
Your Honor, may I press the stand?
You may.
May it please the court. The Virginia Latino Business Legacy Act is legislation that preserves Latino-owned businesses, protects local jobs, and strengthens the cultural and economic fabric of Latino Virginian communities. Before discussing the proposal, I'd like to briefly explain why this issue matters to me. I live in Virginia, while much of my family lives here in Texas. Growing up away from much of my family, I didn't realize how important local Latino businesses are, not only as places of commerce, but as places where culture, language, traditions, and community are kept alive. I want to see the representation between the growing Virginia, and this proposal helps ensure that future generations experience the same sense of cultural connection through businesses that reflect our community. This proposal begins in Virginia, where a growing network of Latino-owned businesses already contribute to local economies and neighborhoods. By starting in Virginia, we can establish a successful model that may inspire similar programs in the future across the country. The opportunity is clear. Every year, successful Latino-owned businesses close, Not because they fail, but because their owners retire without a succession plan or access to qualified successors. To address this, the Virginia Latino Business Legacy Fund Act established the Virginia Business Legacy Fund, which temporarily acquires voluntary enrolled Latino-owned businesses to preserve operations during ownership transitions before transferring them to qualified Latino entrepreneurs. Business owners will be identified through partnership with the Virginia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Latino-owned small business development centers, business advisors, Latino community organizations, Latino business associations, and outreach events held in predominantly Hispanic communities throughout Virginia. Business owners may also voluntarily apply to participate. A very important part, so please listen. To qualify, a business must be headquartered in Virginia, be majority Latino owned, be in good legal and financial standing, have an owner voluntarily seeking retirement or succession. As for the entrepreneurs, to be qualified, they must complete entrepreneurship and financial management through participating business mentors and partner educational institutions. They must also present a viable business continuation plan, demonstrating their ability to successfully operate the business. Every transition is managed by the Latino Virginia Business Legacy Board, composed of Latino business owners, Latino financial professionals, Latino attorneys, and representatives from the Virginia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Latino entrepreneurs, and community leaders. This board oversees business evaluations, approves acquisitions, supervises transfers, and ensures transparency and accountability through every transaction. The program is self-sustaining through a revolving business legacy fund. Entrepreneurs repay affordable acquisition loans over time, and those payments finance future business transfers. Annual reporting to the Virginia General Assembly ensures continued oversight and accountability. The outcomes are both economic and social. Economically, the program preserves businesses, protects jobs, develops new entrepreneurs, and keeps wealth circulating within Virginia communities. Socially, it strengthens the visibility of Latino-owned businesses, preserves cultural identity, creates mentorship, networks, and ensures that future generations continue to see their heritage represented through the Commonwealth of Virginia. Most importantly, this proposal fulfills every principle of community equity building. It creates lasting economic and cultural assets, actively engages community members, places and decisions making in the hands of local Latino leaders leveraging existing Latino institutions. This establishes a system that transfers opportunity, leadership, and cultural legacy from one generation to the next. Thank you. Your Honor, may I be seated?
You may. Lead counsel from Team B. You have 4 minutes to present your proposal.
Your Honor, may I please record?
You may.
Your Honor, may I persist?
You may.
Your Honors, today we stand before you to present the Community Connections Initiative, a proposal that transforms public parks and community spaces into monthly events built around one guiding principle, passing the legacy from one generation to the next. Every month, San Antonio Latino individuals will participate and gather for a day of learning, mentorship, and service through multi-generational collaboration. Student athletes lead youth sports clinics. Educators provide academic and college readiness workshops. Local business owners teach entrepreneurship and financial literacy, and artists share their creativity. At the same time, parents, grandparents, and community leaders pass down their experiences, cultural traditions, practical skills that strengthen the Latino community and preserve its identity. Each event follows a simple structure. The community begins where members would arrive at the designated local community centers or public parks and check in. Participants will receive a schedule of the different skill exchange sessions offered, such as various sports programs, swimming, art, cooking, technology, gardening, and so much more. Volunteers will lead each session in rotations, while participants attend their designated activities. Throughout the event, people of all ages would have opportunities to alternate between teaching and learning. For example, a high school student might teach a technology class for older adults gardening workshops by a retiree. At the end of the event, participants will receive recognition for their involvement and be encouraged to return for future sessions, creating an ongoing cycle where today's learners become tomorrow's mentors. What makes this proposal truly sustainable is that it is community-led. Rather than relying on costly new facilities or government programs, our initiative partners with local parks, already have businesses, schools, nonprofit organizations, and volunteers who already have a passion for serving the communities. With their dedication, it will help to bring the program together, and then they will be benefited by being able to participate in our initiative, which will keep them tied into expanding our initiative and which will instill that drive and passion to be a part of our mission. Our initiative utilizes all aspects of our community for the benefit of our community. We utilize qualities of the Latino community, such as passion, intelligence, and curiosity. This will allow our initiative to remain sustainable. We also are utilizing public spaces such as parks, libraries, and overall areas in which the local community are tied to. Lastly, we take advantage of community organizations specific to Latinos and found locally in San Antonio. Our goal is for all age groups of Latino individuals in the San Antonio area to feel truly impacted and moved by our initiative. We want our initiative to be based in San Antonio, but to inspire other Latino communities in different cities to take initiative. In doing the same for their own communities. Our Community Connection Initiative creates opportunities for learning, growth, and success. It demonstrates outcomes of creating a passionate and further educated Latinos. Your Honors, community equity building begins with recognizing the strengths already within our community and the power to invest in one another, which is exactly what the Community Connection Initiative strives to accomplish. We truly believe our initiative will be an amazing resource to the Latino community and are passionate about loving and caring for and supporting our Latino people. We respectfully ask the court to uphold the Community Connection Initiative. Thank you, Your Honors. May I be seated?
You may. Justices, we will now begin a 10-minute questioning period for lead counsel Team A.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
You may. My question for you, attorney, is how does this proposal build leadership within your community instead of relying on one individual like a business owner to just give up his company?
Definitely. I think you'd have to look at myself and the other people creating this proposal. We are actually connecting them. While yes, the business owners and the young entrepreneurs aren't directly taking initiative, we are. So to answer your question, it's us.
What are some non-tangible assets?
Definitely. The hard work ethic of the young Latino entrepreneurs, the knowledge and insight that the business owners have, and overall, the driven and passion that we all have in the Latino community.
Help me understand, how does your proposal empower Latino communities to advocate for themselves in the future?
Definitely. I think once a new generation of young business owners have and own businesses, this shows how we can provide a legacy and carry on in the future with taking the initiative and owning something and being a part of something greater than ourselves.
My question for you is, with your stakeholders, how do they coincide with your assets?
Definitely, I'd say they are our assets. Our biggest stakeholders are the Virginia Latino Chamber of Commerce. I would say that's our biggest because they're going to be giving us our funding. And so, to answer your question, they're also our biggest asset. They are a pre-existing Latino-owned establishment.
How would you ensure this opportunity reaches other Latinos that aren't connected as well to the Virginia Chamber of Commerce?
I'm sorry, can you please rephrase the question?
How would you ensure this opportunity reaches a diverse range of Latino entrepreneurs, including those who not already have connections to the Virginia Latino Chamber of Commerce?
I think we would create those connections that you're talking about. We're looking to create a statewide network, which will eventually expand to a regional and then hopefully nationwide network. We are going to be taking the initiative on that issue, and we're going to be creating these networks, reaching out and using other methods to secure partnerships and connections.
Can you provide me an example of how you plan to approach the Virginia business commerce?
Definitely. Very similar to how I'm doing it right now. I'm going to sell my proposal, I'm going to tell them my assets, and I'm going to tell them exactly why I believe with my entire heart this will succeed.
Could you also define how permanence and sustainability is withheld within your proposal?
Yeah, definitely. Give me one moment. Each completed ownership share adds the new owners to the program as a future mentor. Partnerships within Virginia small business development centers, universities, and partnerships with Virginia Chamber of Commerce institute the program, creating a self-sustaining cycle of mentorship and business preservation.
What community capacities will exist because of your proposal?
What will exist?
What community capacities?
I'm sorry, what do you mean by capacities?
By capacities, what would your proposal want to empower Latinos to do?
Okay, yeah. So I think the biggest thing to take away from this proposal is that we are trying to empower the Latino community to have a bigger say and a bigger presence. I think presence is a better way to put it. We want to be represented. I want to be able to walk down the street and see my community with me. I think the biggest capability that this program has and will do is start a domino effect where Latinos will start being more present in communities outside of regional nodes.
You spoke about networking. How are you planning on networking to begin growth?
Yeah, one moment. So first, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is going to be a very large one. They are a very connected community, and they have a lot of valuable assets we can use to reach other people. Second, our local chambers, following the exact same principle as the Hispanic ones. And then arguably the most important one, leaders in these small business development centers are going to be a humongous way to reach others.
What reliable assets does the Chamber of Commerce have to help network?
What assets do they have?
Reliable assets.
Okay, I do want to say that the assets listed are not going to be community equity based because I did not create that institution. Is that understood? Okay. Well, the assets that Hispanic chambers have are government funding. They are backed by, I think the number was 30,000 local Virginia businesses. And also they have a very strong community. Not even just Latinos only, but the entire state of Virginia respects that institution.
How are you going to keep your proposal running 5 to 10 years in the future, for example?
Say exactly the same answer to the permanency question. New mentors are going to be a very important part of the cycle. We are not trying to create a proposal to temporarily fix the problem. It's not like that at all. We have an opportunity and we're looking to create a cycle of businessmen and women passing these businesses to each other.
How will you actively engage the Latino community initially?
The initiative?
Initially.
Oh, initiative. Right. Initially, we're going to use the assets listed, but we're also going to look into universities that have clubs. That was a big, big idea. We're going to look into universities, community colleges, high schools, and even independent organizations like this one to connect to young Latinos such as everybody in this room who are driven, hardworking, powerful. Initially, that's how we're going to get off the ground.
If we as a community invest in your proposal, what social impact would you expect us to see in the community in the next generations to come?
Definitely. The biggest social impacts are going to be more representation in our community. For people in Texas, that might not be something that you notice. You're surrounded by your people every day. But I'm not, and there are many, many people who are also. The biggest social impact should be being more represented, but also being more present, being seen, and being felt heard around you, your other Latino community members. I want to be, and me specifically, I want to be a part of a community. I want to build it. I think it gets more social than that.
What sets your program, aside from any other Latino programs, similar to yours?
I don't think there are any that are similar to ours. I think we have one of the most unique proposals in the entire program. I don't think I've ever heard of any business or any proposal that wanted to connect young entrepreneurs to businesses.
Let me rephrase my question. Why would I want to choose your program?
Definitely. I think you want to choose our program because we are very prepared. We have thought of many things, as you can tell. And we've also had a tangible method of getting there. Rather than just telling you that our assets are hard work and passion, I'm telling you real existing organizations that abide by CEB tenets that exist that you can go and see, that you can go and talk to yourself.
How do you envision this program not only preserving the success of the businesses you're buying, but also creating new opportunity and innovation for growth in the community?
That's an excellent question, and I'm very glad you brought this up. To be honest with you, can you please repeat the question?
How do you envision this program not only preserving the success of the businesses you're buying, but also creating new opportunity, growth, and innovation in your community?
So to attack the first part of that, the way that we're going to make sure that these businesses are sustained and these businesses are continuing is by looking at what they already have. These businesses are already off of the ground, if you will. These businesses are established. These businesses already have customer files. You're not talking about some new idea. You're talking about a pre-existing rooted business. So I don't think that you necessarily need to worry about that. This business is already functioning, and I want to highlight the part that these businesses are not failing. These businesses are not dying. They are simply out of success. They don't have anyone to take them after. So I think that would be the answer to the first part. Could you please repeat the second?
How do you see this creating opportunities, growth, and innovation in the community?
Yeah. So the opportunities created are going to be, obviously, the biggest opportunity I could explain to you is these businesses have no one to take care of. I am giving them to a youthful generation to own. Once that youthful generation owns them, who's a part of my community, the opportunities are limitless. I mean, we're going to be represented so much heavier. And to go back to what I said about the whole domino effect, right? We want this to happen in more places than just Virginia. We want this entire nation to be a place that you can go to any state and you can feel represented equally to here.
If you want to empower the Latino youth, why have the youth go to existing businesses instead of starting their own?
Because in Virginia, businesses are very rooted and established, and it's extremely hard to get them off the ground.
It's time.
Your Honor, may I be seated?
You may. Lead counsel from Team B will now have 6 minutes to ask questions. The support counsel from the other party will respond. You may. You may.
How can you ensure the success of their businesses?
Sadly, even though we want to ensure success, we can't, because you never know, maybe there's a natural disaster that brings out the business. But the idea to try to ensure that the businesses keep being successful is by the appliances. The business owners, the original business owners, they can pick whoever they think is the most qualified person and who follows their mission to keep their businesses at the same level or even make them grow.
Thank you. If a business fails to produce the success you expect, how will you ensure it won't bring down your program?
Great question, and I'm glad you bring it up because, as you know, when you do something like businesses that are big value and you probably need loans for that, there's an interest rate. Our idea is to have low interest rates, but that money that we make from the interest, have it in an extra fund in case of accidents, in case of problems that the businesses have, so we can return from that money to the Virginia Chamber of Commerce, so we can keep running this cycle and never get dead.
Thank you. How can you ensure your program will affect the entire Virginia state?
We'll try to affect the entire Virginia state by going to different universities, to different community colleges, high school, like Barnett said, but not only in the biggest cities of the state, going to the counties, going to small towns, trying to get people from everywhere around the state to have an opportunity in this.
Thank you. Will you use existing owners, or are you open to new businesses that are looking for your opportunity?
We will be open to new businesses, but obviously we have to check their like how the business is going, the market that they have, and if it's a truly good opportunity, not only if they want to get the money and try something new because they don't think that they can go that business.
Thank you. You mentioned the Chamber of Commerce who relies on the government. How will the proposal succeed if the government denies the proposal? And how does it demonstrate succeed?
The Virginia Latinos Chamber of Commerce we investigated and is obligated to help these Latino-oriented programs, so we can involve this community and we can help small businesses to grow.
Thank you. How is your proposal focused on the Latino community as a whole and not on a broader audience?
We try to not make it a broad orange because, like we're here and our CB, the community building, is clear that in this Latino community is made by Latinos, for Latinos, to grow as Latinos. Everything has to be with us.
Let me rephrase my question. How are you advertising that is specifically oriented for Latinos?
Well, we will try, obviously, maybe one or two persons that try to get away can, like, we're humans, we make mistakes. But the idea is to get help from the universities, from the community colleges, to get that information and ensure that they are Latino rooted or they are born in a Latino country, so we can keep this generation of the Latinos.
Thank you. How does your program demonstrate the 5 pillars of community equity building?
I think this program can demonstrate the 5 pillars of community equity building because we have a way to take care of everyone, of every outcome that can happen to the Latino community, even if it's good, even if it's bad. Like we have a way to take care and look for the growth of this Latino community and not taking them.
Thank you. What are tangible assets you are utilizing within your program?
The tangible assets that we're utilizing within our program are, as we said, the Virginia Latino Chamber of Commerce that will help us with the funding, the small business development centers that will help us to also mentor these young entrepreneurs about how to develop their business, or even if they want to begin their own business and don't want to be a part of the program, they can go to those places and create their own. The young entrepreneurs and the retirement business owners, obviously, we are a tangible person, and this is the most important part of this program because it's the people that will continue this growth and will continue to expand the community of the Latino community, and also the help with local banks and credit unions for all the control of the money that we will use.
Thank you. And you mentioned that you will go into schools to colleges to advertise your business opportunity, but what if older individuals that aren't in college or aren't in school are looking to start a business and want to find your program?
That's how we will try to go to different high schools, make program for juniors, make program for seniors, in different counties, different small towns, so everybody can feel invited and can feel we have an opportunity to be a part of this program.
Thank you. Connor, may I be seated?
May.
Jordan, may I be seated?
May. Yes, sir.
just for the council. The first question asked was nowhere near in line with community equity building. It was 100% deficit-based thinking. As the other attorney said, what if they don't fund you? Thank you.
Justices will now begin a 10-minute questioning period for lead counsel from Team B.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
You may. My question to you, attorney, is if your members are demanding more frequent meetings rather than monthly, but it doesn't align with your educators or mentors' schedule, how are you going to compromise and satisfy your participants?
Well, that by ensuring our members that our communities are established whenever we can find the time and the resources to do so. We want our initiatives to be the best it can be for our community. You know, as although it might be as often as they think, we want to emphasize to them that it takes resources and it takes a lot of effort to put it together, and that we want to assure them that for the best of our initiative, we need it to be on the timeline that we choose.
How will you ensure the quality of your teachers, mentors, and classes?
We will ensure the quality by, obtaining these volunteers who, truly do know what they're talking about. We want to, invite them to kind of propose and tell us what they want to offer. And I think we will also establish that we want them to align with the principles that we discuss and that we are about. So I think that will be something that they will go through a process of, becoming qualified to make sure that they are ready to teach these other individuals in the community.
In what ways does your proposal promote long-term community equity rather than a short-term relief?
So it promotes long-term community equity because we want members to be excited to come returning to our initiative. We are going to develop programs that will be long-lasting and not just short-term. We want a vast variety of versatile things that we will have to offer. So with that, we want them to see that, coming more and more often will allow them to, ensure that they're truly growing more and more, because it is true, you don't grow overnight, you don't grow after one session. We want them to, truly feel like if they continue to attend, they will be more impacted from our initiative.
You mentioned an ongoing cycle within your proposal. Who's responsible for carrying out each phase and ensuring that each phase is done correctly?
So who will be ensuring that our initiative will be, run and properly is our community leaders. We will be utilizing our community organizations found within the San Antonio area. These are our assets that will help us, truly make sure this initiative is the best it can be. For example, the National Association of Latino Arts and Cultures is based here in San Antonio, and they support Latino arts, culture, and they provide funds and partners with programs that preserve Latino culture, which we'll be utilizing to truly help us with things like music, dance, and creating art, because they will allow us to, truly make our initiative strong.
What do you hope these participants take from the program, even if they don't pursue their interests as a career?
So we want them to find passions that, that truly inspire them to, figure out more and to learn more and to be more curious. A lot of these Latino families, they work hard, they are busy, they have busy schedules, and we want them to feel like coming here is where they can enjoy themselves. Even if it's not career-based, which we do have those opportunities, we want them to be able to come to a place where they can do things that are passionate about that they wouldn't be able to do just on a daily basis.
Because your proposal is very versatile, focusing on arts, sports, and businesses, how would your definition of C you're going to share your proposal is self-sustainable with your community leaders?
So our definition of CB is utilizing the community assets to, help benefit the community. And with that, we will utilize, these organizations found within our community and the qualities of the Latino people. We will also utilize the public spaces that we can, have to host our programs, which will be important in ensuring that we have the space we need freely and without cost. Also, it will ensure that our, can you repeat the last part of your question, please?
How are you going to have your proposal be self-sustainable?
It'll be self-sustainable because these members who are teaching will also be able to participate and get to learn other knowledge that, they will be able to find here at our initiative. It will allow them to come, learn, and teach, which will allow them to kind of dedicate more of their time and more into our initiative. Also, along with that, the organization organizations we are using are long-term. We researched them, and another example of that is the National Association for Latino Community Asset Builders, which they offer safe spaces for the people so that way they can feel comfortable where they are. And also they're big on long-term community investment, showing that if we continue to pursue a greater and wider audience, that they will be there in assistance over the long term and not just the short term.
Could you detail any and all intended beneficiaries within your proposal?
Yes. So our intended beneficiaries are everyone a part of the Latino community in San Antonio. We are based in San Antonio. We do want to inspire other cities to, create something like ours. So such as teenagers, grandparents, children. We want it to be access to all ages, which does sound very versatile, which is why we're so unique.
What measurable impact do you want to have, and how will you know that you have achieved that impact?
We will know that we've achieved that impact when we truly see these lives change in our community. We want them to feel more passionate about what they are doing and more supported. Our mission is truly to make them feel valued and cared for by providing these resources that are free and available to them monthly, which allows them to come back and not just, in a one-time thing that they experience and then it's over, because that doesn't provide a long-lasting impact. So with ours, we are continuously doing this and bettering it, and that is our goal, to continue to make it better. That way they truly feel like each time they're coming, they're being able to experience new things, find new passions, or pursue better at what they are following.
How do you make sure that your beneficiaries stay active in the community?
We will ensure that our beneficiaries stay active within the community because attending our programs will truly allow them to feel more confident in what they're passionate about, more driven. We have career-oriented opportunities that they get to attend, and that will allow them to truly feel like they can make their own impact in their community, especially being surrounded by like-minded Latinos who also want to be passionate. Another part of our program is we do want to have mentorships for those individuals who are looking for that. That way they can truly feel like they're supported, whether that's somebody their age or somebody older than them that can give them advice and experience.
But what is your outreach looking like? Like, how are you going to obtain these beneficiaries?
So we will be obtaining these beneficiaries by advertising through our local community. They will be hosted at these community spaces that we want them specifically here, mainly because of the free costs and that they're in our community. Also to show the people that attend them, like, this is where our event will be. That way they can see for themselves, like, this is a place that's local to me that I feel comfortable at, and that will allow them to truly feel comfortable coming. Also just networking, advertising through our community, and through the organization will also promote our initiative.
What makes your program better than other free and already established pre-college programs?
So our program isn't only for pre-college students, it is for all age groups, which is an important thing that we truly strive on is our multi-generational initiative. We wanted to benefit not only the youth, not only the teenagers that we have attending, but also, older generations, elders, adults, things of that matter. We want them to come and truly feel like benefited and impacted when they come. So I think that is something that it definitely differentiates them, because me and my attorney, we also researched in our area of San Antonio, different programs of this matter, and we truly didn't find any that truly resonated with what our mission is and what we're doing.
I'm curious as to what the associations you mentioned, what they're backed by entities and how they fit into the program.
So they are programmed because they support preserving Latino culture, which is oriented around Latinos, so we want Latino-based organizations. For example, the National Association of Latino Arts and Cultures supports arts and culture, and they partner with programs like ours that preserve that culture. They will help us with things such as music and providing lessons to those individuals, and such as mariachi. That is a big thing that a lot of people don't have access to within our community based on money and the instruments being costly. So that is an organization that we want to help drive and provide resources for our initiative. They also provide things such as, dance and murals, and along with that, they will be able to provide cultural celebrations where we actually get to tie our culture back into the program. And also, we have two other along with that, which is the Mexican American Unity Council that focuses on youth programs. So that services and the workforce development, which truly does tie into each aspect and each age range that we have. Lastly, we have the National Association for Latino Community Asset Builders, which overall creates safe public spaces, which is important to us because that will allow our community to want to come back if they have a safe public space to come to. Secondly, they focus on family engagement, which is a big thing that we want, is families to truly be able to come and allow each one of their, members of their family to feel like they'll be able to attend and be benefited. And they also have long-term investment, which is important for us because we want people who will be able to keep our programs self-sustainable. Thank you, Your Honors. May I be seated?
You may. Lead counsel from Team A will now have 6 minutes to ask questions. The support counsel from Team B will respond.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
You may.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
You may.
Can you define what CED is in the context of your proposal?
Community equity building is when we're relying on our assets that are already based in our community. Our community is reusing the people in the Latino community, and it is a cycle of this multi-generational where not only are people teachers, but they're also students. You are not leaving without anything, but you're also gaining and going back home with something.
Are all of those assets Latino owned?
Yes.
Can you please name the Latino organization that was mentioned by your lead attorney?
Yes. The Latinos Arts Development.
Was that the same place that allowed you to have those public spaces?
No, these public spaces are public, so they are open to the public, so we do not need anyone's permission to use them.
Okay. Does your program have the capability to expand to other ethnicities?
Yes, that is potential, but this is focused based on the Latino-based community, so we would keep it within our Latino-based community.
What makes this proposal more urgent and necessary than others?
Not everybody has these opportunities, so people want outreach and to go based into their communities. They want to find somewhere where they're passionate about. They do not have to go, but people are passionate about this. People want to go to this. They want to learn more.
So to clarify, there's going to be different sections in your proposal, correct? Where there's arts, sports, etc.
Yes.
Are there going to be overseers to make sure each section stays on task?
Yes. There are going to be overseers because we are going to bring our best assets that we already have, what people know best, and they will continue to bring those and teach younger or older generations.
How is this program going to expand?
Can you repeat your question?
Of course. How is this program going to expand?
It is going to expand because I hope other communities can see how this is going to affect our community in such a positive light. We are going to not only become learners, but become mentors. We want today's learners to become tomorrow's mentors, and I feel like that is a reflection of our Latino community.
How will this proposal continue after your initial implementation?
Can you reword that for me?
I can try. Pretty much, how will this continue after your specific involvement?
Because this is based on volunteers. We are continuing to gain volunteers it's a cycle of no one is a teacher, no one is a student. We are all learning together.
One moment. Could you please restate your stakeholders?
Our stakeholders are the educators, Our stakeholders are anyone who's affecting the community, so they're the mentors of the current community. They're the ones teaching and taking the things home with them.
And all of these stakeholders are Latino?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody who is not allowed to participate in your proposal?
No, but we are making sure that this proposal is based to the Latino community.
How does this proposal strengthen the bond in San Antonio?
It strengthens the bond because we are growing together. We are not only teaching and learning, but we are growing passionate with one another. We are growing skills, and this is a form of bond and commitment in the Latino community.
What is the most vital section that your program has to offer?
There is no specific thing that is vital. We believe everything is equally as important to however the person may be. Nothing is more important than the other. It is just what the person decides they are most interested in and wants to partake in.
Could you please list specifically every single section that you guys have?
There are multiple, there is athletes. We are teaching not only young kids how to play basketball on the court, but we're also educating them into their future career paths. There are instruments that children are wanting to learn how to play. There will be an available service. There's dancing, there's multiple things that we are able to offer as Latinos.
Which section do you think has the most representation from what you guys have so far?
We believe the section that has most representation is the culture, because our culture is so strong in the Latino community, and we believe we want recipes to be shown by the elders. We believe we want just the culture and the tradition to carry on into the younger generations.
Can you please explain the interconnectivity between the older and younger generations in your program?
The interconnectivity between the older and generations in our program is the older generations are not only teaching and keeping what we have and the culture alive in our communities, but the younger generations are adapting them to this new world, this new generation, and how our system works, how technology works, and that is what we're trying to give. We're trying to teach each other things.
That's very cool. I yield my time.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I be seated?
You may.
Your Honor, may I be seated?
You may. You will now hear the closing statement from the support council of Team A. You have 4 minutes.
May I approach this time?
You may.
Thank you. Antes de empezar mi cierre para este Final Trial, quiero agradecer a todos ustedes por darnos la oportunidad de estar aquí en esta gran oportunidad para nosotros. Y voy a aprovechar esto para hablar un poco de mi experiencia también de mi comunidad, no solo de Virginia, de aquí. Quiero hablar de mi bella ciudad Torreón, Coahuila, en México, porque esa situación también llega a suceder allá, porque negocios pequeños o familiares, cuando tienen un sucesor, terminan siendo comprados terrenos por empresas que se pueden considerar más importantes, más grandes o con mayor exposición, como por ejemplo es una empresa mexicana llamada Oxxo. Eso es lo que a mí me pasó con mi familia, que es, yo hace algunos años, como alrededor de 10 años, iba con mis tías, con mis primos, con mi hermano, a la plaza para ir a una tienda, a un negocio familiar y comprar dulces, comprar refresco, comprar agua, cualquier cosa que quisiéramos ese día. Alrededor de 2 años después, ya no pudo continuar el negocio, por lo que decimos que no hubo un sucesor, y el Oxxo compró el terreno, la compañía. Esto causó que, cuando se terminara de construir, la plaza perdiera interés por el Oxxo, ya que mucha gente, en lugar de estar interesada en ir a los puestos de hoteles, de elotes y a los puestos de comida, se interesaban en comprar algo más fácil en el Oxxo, que no les tomaba mucho tiempo, y dejaban de aprovechar esa tradición tan bonita. Por eso creemos que es algo que no beneficia tanto a nuestra sociedad, ya que hace que estas familias que tienen sus negocios pierdan parte de sus ingresos, que empleados no puedan conservar sus trabajos y que algunas partes de nuestras tradiciones latinas se pierdan con el gran brillo que tienen. Por esto, la Virginia Latino Business Legacy Act busca que esto deje de suceder en cualquier comunidad latina, sea en México, sea en Estados Unidos, sea en Panamá, sea en Colombia, sea en Brasil, sea en cualquier parte donde tengamos presencia. Para que donde sea que estemos podamos cuidar, podamos implementar y hacer crecer la economía, la cultura, el estatus social y la política de cualquier parte. Hablando de la política, buscamos hacer un progreso importante en esta, tanto para nuestro proyecto, tanto para las ciudades, los estados o los países en los que somos parte, al buscar apoyo de estos gobiernos para que nos ayuden a preservar nuestro proyecto, a cuidarlo y hacerlo crecer, mientras buscamos expandernos a otros lugares. También podemos ayudar a esas ciudades, por ejemplo, al promover el turismo. Si algún negocio de los que nosotros logramos vender se hace conocido globalmente o al menos nacionalmente, puede mejorar mucho el potencial de una ciudad, por la economía que llega, por los turistas, por cómo pueden mejorar su estatus social y cómo pueden mostrar la gran cultura que tiene cada lugar en este planeta. Todas estas y más razones que no podemos decir por el tiempo, que capaz no es el suficiente para expresar todo lo bueno que es esta comunidad, son por las cuales podemos crear un ciclo para más generaciones emprendedoras, sean de México, sean de Estados Unidos, sean de cualquier parte de la que sea, para poder hacer todavía más grande esta bella comunidad en la que todos formamos parte cada día. Quiero aprovechar este tiempo para, como ya le dije, agradecer a todos ustedes el público, agradecer al staff que nos dejó aprender todas estas cualidades, a mis compañeros attorneys que nos ayudaron a perfeccionar estos bellos proyectos, y a ustedes, jueces de justices, por todo el apoyo que nos han dado y por cómo nos ayudaron a perfeccionar esto y hacerlo todavía mejor. Hay un mensaje.
Oh yeah! Yeah! Rita, what's up?
Closing statement from the support council from Tiki. We have 4 minutes.
Your Honor, may I please approach the stage?
Every lasting legacy begins with a single decision, the decision to invest in people. That is exactly what Community Connections is designed to accomplish. Our proposal begins by recognizing the greatest asset in our Latino community. It's our people. By building upon the strengths of our families, educators, local businesses, athletes, we create a stronger foundation for lasting community equity. Rather than asking, what does our community lack, we ask a different question. How can we strengthen what already exists? By transforming existing parks and community centers for mentorship, education, athletics, cultural celebration, and service, Community Connections creates opportunities where every generation has something meaningful to contribute. Children discover new passions, young adults develop confidence and leadership, professionals share their knowledge and expertise, and older generations preserve the traditions, wisdom, and values that define who we are. This is the power of intergenerational collaboration, where every generation teaches, every generation learns, and every generation leads. Community Connections is not built for the community. It is built with the community. Families, schools, local businesses, and community organizations don't simply support this initiative. They shape it, they strengthen it, and take ownership of it. Because when community has ownership of its future, it becomes invested in protecting and growing it. Most importantly, our proposal demonstrates sustainability through an intergenerational cycle of leadership. Participants don't simply attend, they return, not because they're asked to, but because they discover purpose. The child who learns a new skill returns to teach it. The teenager who found a mentor provides a mentor. The volunteer returns because they found purpose, built meaningful relationships, and became invested in the next generation. What begins as participation becomes ownership. Ownership becomes leadership, and leadership becomes legacy. With every event, new leaders emerge, stronger partnerships are formed, and more members of our community choose to invest in who follow them. That is how Community Connections continues, not because it depends on outside support, but because the community itself chooses to carry forward. This is how we carry legacy, not by looking back, but by creating a path forward, a path where culture is preserved, leadership is cultivated, opportunity is expanded, and every generation leaves the next stronger than they found. Your Honors, our journey as leaders does not end with this proposal. It begins with it. Leadership is not measured by the speeches we give today. It is measured by the communities we empower tomorrow. Today, you are not simply evaluating the proposal. You are choosing to invest in a future where communities recognize their own strengths, empower one another, and create opportunities that will endure for generations. Community Connections is more than an initiative. It is carrying the legacy of the Latino community. It is creating the path forward. It is proving when a community invests in its own people, every generation becomes stronger than the last. That is community equity. That is the promise, and that is the future Community Connections will hold. I yield my time. Thank you.
The court is now adjourned. The justices will step out for deliberation.
All rise.